Hey everyone, it's Josh. So, in trying to think of different ways to make videos on this channel that um, are not about the Havercamp situation, so that I don't have to talk about Havercamp all the time and it's not just a channel of negativity. I've been mulling over ideas and I've made a few videos about like my health and how my health has bounced back from quitting processed food and all that sort of stuff. Something hit me today that I could start making a few videos about my life as a homeless person. I know there's a lot of people out there who are curious about what life on the streets is really like. And I'm somebody who spent over 10 years living in the streets. I spent over 10 years living under bridges, living in and out of cheap dive motel rooms, stuff like that, living out of cars, vehicles. So I have a lot of knowledge about how that whole thing works. Now, I'm a little bit different than some other homeless people because, my experience has been considerably different than that of other homeless people because I have always sort of rode solo. I've never tried to click up with like a homeless clique. Generally, and especially after I got sober, I avoided going to like homeless encampments and stuff like that. And the reason for that is because all that ever happens there at night is people drink and they get into fights. That's what they do. Plus, every time you wake up after falling asleep, somebody's stolen some other item of yours. Could be a pack of cigarettes, could be a shoe. I mean, I've had weird stuff stolen from me while I was asleep. So I avoided homeless encampments for that reason. So my life as a homeless person has been largely solo in a lot of ways. But I do have some knowledge of how to survive in the streets. And so this will be my first video about that. So the title of this video, as you saw, I think I'm going to call it Reading the Plates or Paying Attention to the Plates. One of the biggest concerns you have as a homeless person, your biggest concern, is not getting food or shelter. Believe it or not, that's what people say, and that's like the narrative that's out there, and that's important. But your biggest concern always is basically your own safety, making sure you're not in danger. There's a lot of people out there that hate homeless people, and for really no reason. And a lot of these people, if they think you're weak or they sense some sort of weakness in you, they will hurt you. They might even beat you within an inch of your life. I mean, you see it all the time in the news. Somebody, beat the crap out of a homeless person, put him in the hospital. People have poured gasoline on homeless people that they've seen sleeping and set them on fire. So all those things are big risks. So you're always having to make sure that you're aware of your surroundings and that you're kind of ready to switch on your fight mode at a second's notice. Now, one of the things that I learned, and this is something I kind of taught myself, nobody even taught me this, but one of the things I learned is like when you're on a corner, right? You're on a street corner in some town and you're panhandling, you're holding up a sign, trying to get a few bucks. Or maybe you're not even panhandling, maybe you're just sitting on a corner with your bag and you're just resting, whatever it is. There's a lot of cars going by you, right? Especially if you're at like a stoplight or whatever. One of the things that always suggest to people who are about to be homeless and in these kind of situations is to pay attention to people's license plates. Um, just drink it in. Now, there's no way you can memorize all the license plates that are going by you because there's just too many cars that go by you on a given day. But the thing is, you don't have to. Just by paying attention, your conscience doesn't remember everything, but your subconscious does remember everything. So, when a car with a particular set of plates drives by you more than 2 or 3 or 4 times, something will click on in your brain. Hey, I've seen this car. And that will alert you to start paying attention to the potential threat that this car brings to you. And this is especially true if the car is full of, young people or people that look angry or people that look like they're about to have some fun at the expense of a homeless person, whatever it is. But when you pay attention to people's license plates, again, don't even try to memorize the plates. Your subconscious will do that for you. Just make sure you're paying attention. You're looking the general direction of people's license plates when you're like holding up your sign or whatever. So that if a car does drive by you more than 2 or 3 times, your subconscious will tell your conscience that. You know what I'm saying? You'll know it, basically, if a car slides on you more than 2 or 3 times. And yeah, there's most cars that slide on you more than 2 or 3 times are just going back and forth from work or to lunch or whatever. But still, your brain will alert you to a car that's been by you more than a couple of times in a short period. And that's a very good piece of knowledge to have, because that's how a lot of homeless people get hurt. They're out there panhandling or whatever. They're not paying attention to what's around them. Some car has driven by them 5, 6, 7 times. They don't know it. Then they go to sleep under their bridge, whatever bridge they're going to sleep under, or maybe they made money for a motel room, so they go to their cheap motel room, not knowing that that car that went by them 6 or 7 times that they never noticed followed them to their motel room and is going to come back later at midnight with 5 of their friends and beat the snot out of them. That happens constantly. So, that's one of the best things you can do to be aware when you're out on the street and you're vulnerable all the time, is to pay attention to the cars that are driving by you, especially the plates, especially if you're going to be on corners, and make yourself visible. And that alone has personally, I believe, saved me from a whole lot of problems. And I'll just put it to you that way. So that's my homeless survival tip for the day. See you guys later.